Human Adaptation, Genetic, Acclimatization, and Cultural Mechanisms. UGC Net Anthropology. Unit 4. Part 7. Welcome to AnthroNet Academy, a study aligned with the UGC Net Anthropology syllabus. Dear learners, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, AnthroNet Academy, to keep me motivated to create more content for you. Don't forget to like, share, and hit the subscribe button. And make sure to click the bell icon so you never miss an update. Gift on 1,000 subscribers. AnthroNet Academy is excited to announce a special gift for our viewers once we reach 1,000 subscribers. Why subscribe? We're bringing you the latest current affairs in anthropology, curated specifically for competitive exams. Stay updated with exam-oriented analysis, expert insights on recent developments, daily/weekly current affairs tailored for anthropology. Special surprise gift awaits all our early supporters once we hit 1K. Don't miss out. Subscribe now, be a part of our growing community, and take your anthropology preparation to the next level. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. AnthroNet Academy, your gateway to anthropology excellence. Allen's Rule, 1877. These are eco-geographical principles that help explain morphological variations in human and animal populations based on climatic conditions. Principle: animals in warmer climates tend to have longer limbs and appendages too. Dissipate heat, whereas those in colder climates have shorter limbs to retain heat. Rationale: increased limb length increases surface area for heat loss. Application to humans. People in hotter regions, e.g., sub-Saharan Africa, often exhibit longer arms and legs. People in colder regions, e.g., Arctic populations, show shorter, stockier limbs. Bergmann's Rule, 1847. Principle: within a species or among closely related species, body size is larger in colder environments and smaller in warmer ones. Rationale: a larger body mass has a lower surface area to volume ratio, which conserves heat. Application to humans. Populations in cold climates, e.g., Inuit, tend to have larger, stockier bodies. Populations in hot climates, e.g., Nilotic groups of East Africa, tend to be leaner and more linear. Human Adaptability Programme, HP. Overview. Initiated by UNESCO in the 1960s, this was an interdisciplinary research program. Objective: to study how human populations biologically and culturally adapt to different environmental stresses, e.g., climate, altitude, nutrition. Disciplines involved: anthropology, physiology, biology, ecology, sociology. Aims: understand the limits of human adaptability. Study genetic and non-genetic, phenotypic plasticity, aspects of adaptation. Inform health, nutrition, and development programs in diverse environments. Outcomes: pioneered field research in extreme environments. Distinguished between acclimatization, adaptation, and accommodation. Emphasize the role of biocultural adaptation, e.g., clothing, diet, shelter. Human adaptation to environmental stressors. Humans adapt through 3 mechanisms. Genetic adaptation, evolutionary over generations. Acclimatization, short-term physiological changes. Cultural adaptation, technological, behavioral responses. 1. Genetic adaptation. Definition: heritable changes in allele frequencies in a population over many. Generations driven by natural selection, resulting in increased survival and reproductive success under specific environmental pressures. Key features: long-term and irreversible. A product of evolution. Involves changes at the genomic level, e.g., gene frequency, mutation, selection. Passed down through generations. Examples. A. High-altitude populations. Tibetans possess EPS1 gene variants associated with efficient oxygen utilization. Without increasing red blood cell count, avoiding the risks of thick blood. Andeans show increased hemoglobin concentration, helping carry more oxygen in. Thin air. Ethiopians exhibit normal hemoglobin levels, but improved oxygen delivery efficiency, possibly through unknown genetic mechanisms. B. Sickle cell trait. In regions with malaria, e.g., sub-Saharan Africa, the heterozygous sickle cell allele. HBS confers resistance to Plasmodium falciparum. Though the homozygous HBSS form causes sickle cell disease, the carrier advantage maintains the gene in the population. C. Lactase persistence. Populations with a history of dairy herding, e.g., Northern Europeans, some African. Pastoralists have genetic variants that allow continued lactose digestion into adulthood, mutation in the LCT gene promoter. Timescale. Occurs over hundreds to thousands of years. Requires reproductive isolation, environmental stability, and selection pressure. 2. Acclimatization. Definition: reversible physiological changes that occur within an individual's lifetime. In response to environmental stressors. It does not alter the genetic code. Key features: short-term, hours to weeks, or long-term, months to years. Occurs at the individual level. Not heritable. Can be lost if the stressor is removed. Types. A. Developmental acclimatization. Occurs during childhood or growth period, often irreversible. Example: children raised at high altitude may develop larger lung volumes or chest dimensions. B. Adult acclimatization. Reversible, develops during adulthood. Example: an adult moving to a high-altitude area will experience increased red blood cell count, faster breathing rate, increased heart rate. Examples: heat acclimatization, improved sweat response, faster onset, more dilute sweat, lower core body temperature at onset of sweating, reduced cardiovascular strain. Cold acclimatization. Improved peripheral blood flow to extremities. Increased metabolic heat production via brown fat or muscle activity. Blunted shivering in chronically cold exposed individuals. High altitude acclimatization. Hyperventilation and increased RBC production. Increased capillary density in muscles. Rightward shift in oxygen dissociation curve, Bohr effect. Timescale. Short-term, hours to days, e.g., hyperventilation. Medium to long-term, weeks to months, e.g., increased RBC. 3. Cultural adaptation. Definition: the use of technology, behavior, and social practices to adapt to environmental stresses. It includes learned, shared, and transmitted practices within a society. Key features: fastest and most flexible form of adaptation. Can change within one generation. Involves innovation, social learning, and cultural transmission. Complements or substitutes for biological adaptation. Examples: heat environments. Light, breathable clothing, e.g., linen robes in deserts. Architecture, buildings with high ceilings, courtyards, and passive cooling. Daily routines, siestas and reduced activity during peak heat. Cold environments. Insulated clothing, fur, wool, down. Shelters like igloos or log cabins. High-fat diets, Inuit traditional diet. Use of fire, heaters, and layered clothing. High altitude. Terrace farming to make use of limited arable land. Use of coca leaves, Andes, for energy and reduced fatigue. Social structures emphasizing collective labor and support. Urban and modern adaptation. Air conditioning and heating systems. Water purification systems in arid or polluted environments. Global food distribution overcoming local seasonal shortages. Timescale. Rapid, days to decades. Often leads to niche construction, humans modifying the environment to suit their needs rather than adapting biologically. Comparative summary. Aspect: genetic adaptation, acclimatization, cultural adaptation. Timescale: thousands of years, hours to months, days to decades. Heredity: yes, no, no, but culturally transmitted. Reversibility: no, yes, except developmental, yes. Level: population, individual, and group. Mechanism: natural selection, physiological, regulation, behavioral, technological. Example: EPS1 gene in Tibetans increased RBCs at altitude building oxygen-enriched homes. Human adaptation to A. Heat adaptation. Environmental challenge, risk of hyperthermia and dehydration. Physiological adaptations. Sweating efficiency, increased sweat production and earlier onset. Peripheral vasodilation, blood vessels expand to dissipate heat. Lower core temperature threshold for heat responses. Morphological traits per Allen's and Bergmann's rules. Tall, lean bodies with long limbs, better heat dissipation. Cultural/behavioral. Light, breathable clothing, siestas, shade construction. B. Cold adaptation. Environmental challenge, risk of hypothermia, frostbite. Physiological adaptations. Shivering thermogenesis, muscle activity to generate heat. Non-shivering thermogenesis, heat from brown adipose tissue. Peripheral vasoconstriction, blood vessels narrow to retain core heat. Higher basal metabolic rate, BMAR, in cold-adapted groups. Morphological traits. Short, stocky body and limbs, lower surface area to volume ratio. Cultural/behavioral. Layered clothing, high-fat diets, indoor heating, use of animal furs. C. High-altitude adaptation. Environmental challenge, hypoxia, low oxygen availability. Short-term, acclimatization. Increased breathing rate, hyperventilation. Increased red blood cell production, polycythemia. Increased capillary density and hemoglobin affinity. Long-term genetic adaptations. Andean populations, higher hemoglobin concentrations. Tibetan populations, normal hemoglobin but higher oxygen saturation and nitric oxide for better blood flow. Ethiopian Highlanders, unique adaptation with neither excessive hemoglobin nor high ventilation. Cultural/behavioral. Use of oxygen supplementation in extreme altitudes. Architectural designs to reduce hypoxia indoors. Summary table. Environment: physiological adaptations, morphological traits, cultural adaptations. Heat sweating, vasodilation: tall, lean, long limbs, light clothing, shade. Cold shivering, vasoconstriction, higher BMAR: short, stocky, shorter limbs insulation, heating. High altitude hyperventilation, increased RBC, genetic adaptations varies, Andean versus Tibetan, oxygen use, diet. Thank you for watching.